I'm going to show you how to get more traffic, more leads, and more sales than 99% of other people. Now, you don't need to go viral or get hundreds of thousands of views to actually make money online. You see, most of my videos are between 1,000 or 2,000 views, but the people that are watching my videos are becoming leads, and more importantly, they're becoming customers of my products. Now, this training on how to get traffic is the most in-depth training I have ever done. I invited my high-paying inner circle students to my house to teach them how to get leads and sales as fast as humanly possible. This is also part 5 of my brand new series of how I built my 8-figure business from scratch while I was working my 9-to-5 job. So check out the other parts in this video if you want to see how to build the entire business from scratch. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to show the Freedom Rebels how to get leads and sales from social media. You guys ready?
Yes. Oh yeah.
All right, let's go. All right, so we're going to go over how to create content that gets you leads. We're going to go over how to create content that grows your authority and brand. We're also going to go over how this is going to help you grow from complete scratch. I know some of you are just starting out your social media. So this framework and this script that I'm going to show you is going to help you grow as a complete beginner. Okay. Also, I'm going to go over the perfect short form script. Okay. This script has made me so much money and it works every single time. Okay, I'm gonna go over that script and then we're gonna actually post a video. We're actually gonna create videos here live and then we're gonna post it on Instagram. And then I'm gonna show you at the end of this video how you can use AI to create some of these hooks and scripts for you. And of course, I'll show you examples as we go through it. All right, guys, so now I wanna show you the perfect short form script. Now, I wanna let you know that this script has made me a lot of money and there's been so many times where I try to do something different than this script that I'm about to show you, and I actually don't make the money or I don't get the views that I want. Okay, when I follow this script, and I'm going to show you examples of me actually following the script and me not following the script, I don't get leads, I don't get sales. And you know, the cool thing about this is you don't need a lot of views to get people to raise their hand and want to buy your products. Okay, now before I go into the script, I want to mention that you want to be able to target your audience. So that's why in the previous training, I was showing you guys like, who are we actually targeting, right? Are we targeting, you know, a single dad that wants to quit his 9-to-5 job? Or, you know, if you're targeting someone from health and fitness, maybe it's a mom with 4 kids, you know, she's not confident anymore and she wants to be able to lose weight, right? Now, if you want to see how to actually create your profile, that way you're targeting the right person, I gave a live training to the Freedom Rebels in part 3. So check out part 3 right here, and I'll show you exactly how to target your exact audience. All right, so now that you know exactly who you're targeting, this script, it works so well. Okay, it works as a complete beginner. If you're just starting out in the affiliate marketing or the digital marketing world, this is going to help you grow. Now, the cool thing about this is, yes, it's going to get you leads, it's going to get you sales, but more importantly, it's going to build the authority and your brand, which is honestly the most important thing. Okay, so you need 4 things in this script. Okay, now the first one is a hook. Now, this is super important. Okay, the hook is probably the most important thing. Now, without a good hook, you're not going to be able to get someone to stick to the end. And that's the whole point. But typically this is quick. This is 2 to 6 seconds. And the hook is something that you got to think about the most. Like, who's the target audience that we're thinking about talking to? And how can we get them to stop scrolling and watch your video? Now, of course, I'm going to show you examples. I'm just showing you like a high level overview of what the script looks like. Okay. All right. Number 2 is the story or why. Now, this is really important. Okay. So now we've hooked them to watch your video. The next part is we need to tell them why they need to watch the video, okay? Because what most people do is they say, hey, I'm gonna show you how to go viral on Instagram. Maybe that's the hook. And then they tell them how to go viral on Instagram, but there's no context. So there's no reason why they should really listen to you, okay? So this is actually really important because right here, you kind of wanna tell them how you learned what you're about to teach, right? Why should they listen to you? Why is it beneficial to them? And I'll show you clear examples, but this is like why they should actually watch it, or what's the story, why they should watch what you're going to watch next. Okay, this is really, really important. So for example, you'll notice in a lot of my videos that you'll see is like, I'm always telling the story of how I either learned this thing or how I earned it, all the mistakes That way they don't have to see those mistakes, right? So once I show you examples, it'll make a lot more sense. But that's the second element here. The third thing is the value part, right? This is the actual thing that they came for, the secrets, the tips, the step-by-step, right? Now, typically this is the meat and potatoes of your video. So the story can typically be, you know, it could be anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds. This is the actual value. So it really depends on what you're teaching. Assuming we're doing a 60-second video because we're doing short form, the value part, again, this varies, but you know, it could be anywhere between, I would say 20 to 40 seconds, okay? And then of course, the last thing is the call to action. What do you want them to do next? Do you want them to click the link in your bio? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to do the things that you told them to do, right? Or go tag someone, right? Whatever it is, share the video. So these are kind of the four main things, okay? So now let's go into like every part of this series. Then we're gonna actually build this together. I'm gonna have these guys actually build their first video if they haven't yet. So let's go into the hook. All right, so let's go into the hook. Okay, again, I said this is the most important part, and then I'm gonna tie this into a lot of the trainings that we've done earlier where I showed you like targeting the perfect audience, because one thing that people say is like they'll make a good hook, but that hook is probably not good for your audience, okay? So this is where it gets kind of tricky, I guess you can say, because like your hook may not work for my hook. Even though we're selling the same thing, your hook is completely different than mine, okay? We're gonna go over like some of my top hooks, and then we'll go into like how it relates to your audience. But for example, here, you know, one hook is like, hey, these are 3 tips that can, you know, XYZ, or these are 3 secrets that can help you lose weight faster, right? Or whatever it is. So this is always like a cool hook, straightforward. The next one is like a don't do this hook. Like you don't need a lot of views to go viral and make a lot of money with affiliate marketing, okay? So that's kind of what that is, okay? Like don't do this, okay? And people, that's triggering people. Like when you say that on social media, it's like, wait, why can't I do that, right? So this is a great hook as well. Another straightforward hook is like, here's how you can. I created an example here for Jared because I know he's targeted firefighters, right? How firefighters are creating multiple income streams in less than a day. You know, again, we're relating it back to our target audience, okay? You know, depending, like, I know, Ronnie, maybe you're targeting veterans, right? How veterans can create multiple streams of income in less than a day. Remember, now we're speaking to our target audience. That's why I didn't teach this in part 3. This is more of a more advanced training because I wanted, before I show you how to actually create the content, we have to know exactly who we're speaking to. And that's why I didn't even go over any of this stuff until we knew exactly who we're speaking to. Super, super important, okay? But anyways, we're still on hooks here. And then the last one is like this hack, okay? People love hacks. I actually, to get these guys here live in my house, I said, I have a really cool hack for you guys. So that's why they're here, right? And that's what works online as well. It's like, hey, this hack is gonna help you get there faster, right? People always want the speed, okay? If you can show them how they get there quicker, they're gonna wanna watch, okay? And again, here's an example here. This life hack is helping single moms quit their jobs, okay? So you can see here, I'm targeting, if that's my target audience, that's who we wanna speak to, okay? So that's kind of just a few hooks. I mean, there's a ton of different hooks that we can use here, but these are kind of the main ones and they work every single time, okay? But the main thing to kind of figure out is like, who are we targeting? And this can work for, you know, we're gonna do a script live together. We're gonna all kind of do the same script at the end of this video, but we're all gonna target our personal audiences, okay? Because I've already helped them figure out who we're targeting. So now we're gonna make a script. But the thing to understand is you'll notice I spend a lot of time on my hooks. So whether it's my Instagram videos or my YouTube channel or my thumbnails, this is kind of one of the most important things. Now, just a few things to kind of note. You got different types of hooks. So, right, like when you actually say a hook, like, hey, I'm gonna show you 3 secrets on how a single dad can quit their job in 2025. That's a hook that I'm speaking, okay? We'll say a speaking hook, okay? So this is something that you talk about, okay? And then another one is a visual hook, right? So, you know, let's just say you're doing something crazy. I think Jared was cooking and then when he was feeding his dog, right? It's different. It's a pattern interrupt, right? So that's not necessarily him talking about it, but something interesting is going on in the background, okay? That's kind of cool, right? Maybe you'll see me, you know, riding my Can-Am or doing something crazy on a jet ski, right? Those are all visual hooks, okay? Now, you can pair a visual hook with a speaking hook, but those are kind of some things to think about, right? What's gonna stop the scroll? And then another one is just a text hook. And I like to use all 3 of these, but you'll see like if there's a video online, right? You have a big like headline text right here, okay? Or whatever it is. So that's also a text hook. And there's all sorts of different types of hooks, but using these 3 types is all you need to really get people to stop and then watch your video. All right, so Ronnie has a question on a hook. Go ahead and ask the question.
So is the hook tailored to your personality personality pretty much entirely, or to your audience that you're trying to attract? Or is it both?
That's a great question. So Ronnie's asking like, okay, so is it based on me? And yes and no, right? Because obviously you want to be you when you're on social media, but more importantly, it's about the audience, right? Because you want to hook your audience. So whoever you're speaking to, the hook has to pertain to them and why it matters, right? So again, like, you know, if you're selling a fitness product, then you working out in the gym would be like a visual hook, right? Yeah. But if, you know, you're not selling a fitness product and maybe you're, you know, painting or something and teaching people how to work out, even though you like to paint, but you're selling a workout product and that's who you're selling to, that wouldn't make sense, right? So great question. Love it. All right. So there's a few other hooks that you can add. Jared over here has really been diving into the social media world and he's really been creating different types of hooks. And I want him to kind of speak about what he's doing.
Yeah. So real quick, a few things that I've seen that are successful is in your hook, you want to develop curiosity. You want them to be curious about what's coming, what it's going to do to serve them. Another one is anticipation. You can do like a visual anticipation where you're throwing something in the air and they're anticipating it to fall, or you're pouring a glass of water, you're anticipating the next movement. Editing hook would be where you have words displayed and you have like blurs. The editing is the blurred words and they're anticipating that to be clear, if that makes sense.
Awesome. So there's so many different hooks that we can talk about. And, you know, Jared has been really messing around with like the editing hook, right? Where now you can use your creativity, right? You can use a tool like CapCut or some sort of editing tool to, you know, make it really cool and visual and stimulating in that sense, right? So, you know, I've always been very simple with my hooks and I love how, you know, I can bring in people that are more creative than myself and do different types of hooks. All right. So the second element to creating the perfect script for your videos is the story of how you learn and earn it, okay? Or like why someone should actually watch your content. This is really, really important because it bridges them to like, okay, you give them this hook, now they're excited to see what's next. You don't want to go into like the actual meat and potatoes just yet because one, it's going to help your brand and authority, and two, it's going to get them to value what you're saying a lot more, okay? So for example, in a lot of my content, you'll see this, you'll start to notice this if you're watching this training. I always talk about like what I paid for it, right? What I paid. So whether like if I'm teaching someone, you know, hey, this is how, you know, I built a 7-figure affiliate business. By the way, I paid over $40,000 in mentors and masterminds to learn what I'm about to teach you, right? So what I paid to learn this, right? Or how you earned it, right? Even if you didn't maybe pay, you know, let's just say you spent over 1,000 hours on YouTube, right? Whatever it is, right? So another example, it's like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to start a 7-figure affiliate marketing business. And I'm going to show you how to skip over 1,000 hours of watching YouTube videos because I've already done that. I'm going to show you the shortcut, right? So again, you can either talk about how you learned and earned it or the experience you've paid to learn that thing, okay? It's really important because it's going to set up what you have to say next, okay? And this is, even if you're a beginner, this works perfect, right? So you can say, you know, I'm going to show you how to start a business as a single dad and you're still working a 9-to-5 job and this is how you can quit. And then the context would be, I've actually tried 20 other business models that have failed. This one actually worked. Okay. So you can talk about your failures, right? So that's another one. So your failures, right? You know, a lot of people just talk about their wins, which is you can do as well, right? You can talk about your wins. If you can master this, and you'll notice all the videos that have been successful for me, and I'll show you examples at the end of this, is I'm always talking about the story of how I learned it, earned it. And for the videos I don't add that, like people don't care to watch it. Okay. So really, really important is always let them know like why they should watch the video next. It can be really quick. It could be 5 seconds, maybe up to 10, but I would say about 5 to 7 seconds here. Just real quick on why they should listen to you, right? You know, and once you get results, you know, you can start to show people, hey, you know, I made my first $10 doing this method and I had never made money in the past 7 years before this, right? So these are kind of the things that you want to mention, the story of how you learned and earned it or why they should watch it next, okay? All right, so the third element to the perfect short form script is the value part. So this is the actual meat and potatoes of the script. So this is what they actually came to watch, right? So whether it's like, hey, I have, you know, 4 tips or 4 secrets or 3 tips or 3 secrets, this is where you actually go into it, okay? It has to be pretty good. Obviously, you don't want to just give them some boring tips that aren't really going to help them. Like you actually want to help someone out, right? And I'll show you examples like where I'm showing them everything that they need to know. For example, I'm creating this video right now. I'm creating this content content, right? And I'm throwing everything out there. I'm teaching everything I know about creating content and getting leads and sales, but I'm not holding anything back. Because of that, I'm building my brand, I'm building my authority because I'm helping you out. Yes, I still have other things to sell on the back end, absolutely. But if the first time you see me, I'm holding back and you can tell, you're never gonna follow me again, okay? So this part is really important. Like, really try to help someone out. Give them something actionable, right? Something they can do right there that can actually help them there. And then, that's how you're gonna build your following. That's how you're gonna build your income, your email list, all the things that you're trying to do. And this is really important to kind of mention because a lot of people are gonna hold back here. So don't hold back, teach them everything you need to know, okay? So let's go into the value part. So there's a few different ways that I like to do this. You can either just talk about like the 3 things or the three secrets or whatever you wanna talk about. So that's one option. You could just talk, right? So super easy. You can just talk about it, okay? What I like to do is I like to be visual. And I'm gonna show you an example of what this video that did really, really well. You can use like a whiteboard. So for example, you can draw out like what you want to teach them on like a whiteboard, or it could even be like a little mini whiteboard. And you can just show the camera and just point to the things that you're teaching them, okay? That works really, really well. And people love that. It changes the way, people are used to seeing things online instead of just seeing a talking head. You have a whiteboard. Another thing I've been doing is this virtual whiteboard, okay? So what I'm doing right now, what I would do is I can actually just create like a quick 3-tip thing, get my phone out and I could just record, what I'm teaching on this virtual whiteboard. So this is also one that you can do. One that I've done, back in 2020 when I was starting out my TikTok was just writing on paper. Even if it's just words on paper, it just changes the scenery, right? So even if your 3 tips or the things you're teaching them, you're just pointing to the things on the paper, that works really well, okay? For those who are beginners, I think you guys may struggle here, okay? Because you're like, okay, well, I'm a complete beginner. I have no idea how to create, something that's actually valuable. One thing that you can do as a complete beginner is just start teaching what you're learning. If you just watched a YouTube video and you learned how to, go viral on Instagram, go teach that real quick and then teach them like the things that you learned, right? Or, you can just, if you bought a course and you just learned something, really cool, like go teach that. Just do all the right things before, like the hook and the story. But if you're a complete beginner, like that's my recommendation. Like, for example, when I first started, it was hard because I had no idea how to create content because I didn't know anything. I didn't have any skills, right? I remember my first YouTube video because I sent the Freedom Rebels. I was like, hey guys, this is my first YouTube video. And they were kind of making fun of me because, I had like the fan in the background and all that stuff. It was my first video. But one thing that they didn't know is I actually watched a video exactly like that before. And then I went to go reteach it. Okay. So that's a little bit of a hack that you can use is, if you're watching a course or a YouTube video, go and teach it, right? But use the frameworks that we're teaching here, break it down into a 60-second video. I promise you're going to get people to start to follow you, to take action on what you're trying to do. So, all right. So the last and final element is the call to action, or the CTA. Okay. So this is obviously, where do you want them to go next? Do you want them to go to the link in your bio, right? Do you want them to go to your lead magnet, right? So you got your links, you got your, your lead magnets, but it doesn't always have to go to your funnel or to your website. It could also be like, hey, follow me for more, right? Follow me for more tips or comments, right? Comment down below, right? Could it be as simple as like this video, right? Or share this video. Typically shares are really good if you have like a really good video that teaches something like kind of viral. Now people ask, well, what kind of CTA should I do? You don't always want to do like, hey, go buy my stuff. Switch it from, hey, follow me, or go comment down below. You can even have a poll, right? You can have a poll on Instagram or whatever. So you can do that. What I like to do personally is I like to send people to my YouTube videos, right? If I make a YouTube video, I'll make a quick Instagram post to get people to my YouTube video, right? So the call to action is important. Now, one thing I'll note is try to relate it back to your target audience. We've gone through the hook with the story, the meat and potatoes of the value, and then the call to action. You always want to relate it back to your target audience. Okay. So for example, now let's just say, you're teaching them how to make money with affiliate marketing, right? So basically guys, when you're relating it back, I'm going to just use a firefighter as an example. So this is Jared's audience here, but if you are a firefighter that wants multiple streams of income, click on the link in the bio. I have a free course that's going to teach you how, right? So that's a great call to action because we're relating it back to who we're speaking to instead instead of just saying, okay, if you're interested, go click down below, we're always referring back to who we're speaking to, okay? It's important that you want to relate it back to that person. Again, I'm not saying I follow this exact script every single time because I've tried to do different things and I try to get creative with it, but I'm telling you, and I'm going to show you examples, like when I follow this script, it works, and I don't need hundreds of thousands of views. I'm going to show you that. Another example here, you know, right here, it's click the link in the bio, but you could also have people comment, right? If you're interested in learning this process that I just showed you, say veteran income down below, right? Or teach them or have them comment something that relates to them. And then they're going to go and comment, and then you can go back and send them a message with the link. So lots of different things that you can do with the call to action. The biggest thing is relate it back to them and why they want the actual thing. All right, so now I want to show you some actual examples of how the script looks and how it works. But real quick, I just want to go over it again. So remember, we got the hook, we got the story of why they should watch the actual video, you got the value part, which is the meat and potatoes, and then you got the call to action, okay? But now I want to show you actual examples of how this works. All right, so now I want to show you multiple examples of me using this script and how I'm using it to get leads and sales. You guys ready?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna walk you through some of these videos here, and you're gonna see I pretty much copy the script every single time, okay? So this is a training that me and Mila were gonna have, and I wanna show you what I did to get people excited for this webinar, okay? So I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna stop it, I'm gonna explain what we did here, okay? So let's check it out.
I'm going to show you the 3 things that you need to get rich with AI and how you can start making money tonight.
All right, so you'll notice that my hook was, I'm gonna show you the 3 things that you need to get rich with AI, okay? And you'll see I even kind of switch into this whiteboard thing, which is more of the meat and potatoes, but I'm gonna play the training and you'll see what I do next.
So this is how a complete beginner can tap into this process and start to be able to make money within 24 hours, okay?
All right, so now you'll notice the why part, right? So I had the hook in the beginning, which was, hey, this is how to get rich with AI. But then the story is, I'm talking to beginners. This is how beginners can get rich with AI, right? Because, you know, in their mind, they're thinking like, okay, well, you know, maybe just the gurus can get rich or whatever. No, I'm speaking to the beginner, right? And that's why now they should stay and watch the rest, okay? This is how beginners are getting rich with AI, even if they don't have any experience or anything, okay? So I didn't really talk about the story of how I earned and learned it, but it was more like why they should watch it, okay? Now I can make another video where I actually add what I learned and earned it, right? So I can use the same hook where I'm like, hey, this is 3 ways you can get rich with AI. And then I can change up the story and just say, by the way, I paid a mentor over $10,000 to teach me these AI tricks, okay? So that's one thing that you can do, okay? So it's cool because you can kind of piece together some of these hooks and start to change them out, right? You can change the hooks, change the stories, but I really want you to understand, like, I'm following this step by step. All right, so let's go on to the next part here.
You're going to need a product, and I can show you exactly how to tap into an existing product. You're going to need an automated system, and I'll show you how to tap into an already existing automated system. And then the third thing here is you need AI. You need to be using AI to be able to get customers to these 2 things, okay? And then the automated system will sell them the product.
All right, so now you'll see the meat and potatoes. I just showed my whiteboard, and you know, I do that because it's different. It's visually stimulating, but you can also do this like on a piece of paper. I could have drawn the 3 lines out. Either way, like you'll notice, like that's what I did here. I gave them what they came for. This is like the high level overview of what it is, like how to actually get rich with the AI, right? And then of course, is the call to action, right? That's the next part, and I'll show you what I do here, but you can see that I'm following the script exactly to a T.
Mila and I are doing a special training showing you exactly how you can get started tonight. Say AI training down below if you want complete free access to this training. We'll see you there.
And then you'll notice my call to action is I have them comment down below. Now, there's a few reasons why I do that, you know, more for engagement. I want people to comment because the more people that comment, that's going to show it to more people. A little bit of a hack that you can do, but you know, if you don't want to go through all that and DMing everyone, you can always just tell them to go click the link in the bio. But yeah, that's it, guys. This is how you execute the script every single time. And I'll show you another example here just so you can see how it works. The coolest thing about this is it works every single time. You can copy my same scripts and just change it for your audience, okay? You can speak to your people. Remember, when we're creating the hook, right? For example, Jared can be like, this is 3 ways that firefighters can get rich with AI while still working their job, right? And then we can do the exact same video. So that's the thing to understand is like when you're doing the hook, speak to your target audience. And I think most people don't mention that. All right, so I hope that example was helpful. I just want to do another example. That way you guys can really understand this concept, because I'm telling you, if you can understand how to do this every single time, it's going to help you make so much more money. So let's go on to example number 2.
I want to show you how this weird website makes me over $10,000 a month with multiple affiliate programs.
All right, so you'll notice the hook again. So I'm showing them how people can tap into over 40 income streams. And then now I'm gonna actually show them why they need to listen, okay? Now what I'm doing here is actually a little bit different. You'll see I'm actually using someone famous. So most people know who Alex Hormozi is. So I'm actually using his stuff or his authority. I'm borrowing some of his authority to get people to want to watch what I'm about to teach, okay? And you'll notice what I'm doing here in the second part of this.
I personally have over 40 affiliate companies paying me monthly. I'm going to show you exactly which ones. $151,000 here. Over $48,000 here, $43,000 here, almost $60,000 here. I was even Alex Hormozi's top 5 affiliate. This is an email from him showing you I was top 5.
All right, so that second part was typically longer than what I would usually do. So you'll notice I showed them, I borrowed authority from Alex Hormozi, but I also showed them some of my results, right? So, that one is typically longer than I usually do. I think I went about 15 seconds, but this video actually did very well. So, you can kind of tweak things and stuff, but like the main thing is like, I'm following the same framework here, okay? And then now we're gonna go into the actual value part, and you'll notice, again, just very simple, high level things that you can help them with. Let's check it out.
Whole purpose is we're giving away something for free. That way we can send people to an automated sales system that then promotes multiple offers. So it looks something like this. We create content to get people to a free thing, and then there's automated emails that are sending to multiple different products. Now here's the best part. There's an affiliate software that allows you to add your affiliate links for multiple different products. And in an instant, you're gonna have this system here.
Now you'll see I went into depth on how this works, right? I showed them a framework. And of course, I show them how simple this process could be, because we've built some amazing things on our back end, like that relates to our product. But the main thing is like, I had them with the hook, I borrowed authority, I showed them some results, and then I showed them the high level overview of what they need to build a successful business, okay? And then we go into the call to action here, which is, pretty simple. You'll notice I like to do a lot of comments. That's kind of my main thing, because, you can automate that process and you get more comments and more engagement, but that's kind of the framework I go into. I'm not going to go into what I actually say. I just say, hey, comment down below if you want access, but yeah, that's it. All right. So I hope this framework was helpful. Now I want to show you how to actually do this live on your phone. Check it out. All right. So what we're doing here is I actually have my phone, as you can see here, and I'm going to start with the hook. Okay. Now, what I'm going to be promoting is, so I want to think of the end in mind. So I want people to watch this training, the training that you guys are watching right here. So what I'm going to do is I want to start by actually thinking about where I want to send them first. Okay. So again, we're going to use this framework, but I want to think about the call to action. Okay. So what I want them to do is I want them to watch this training. Okay. It's an Instagram video to get them excited for this training that you guys just watched. Okay. So my hook is going to get people excited for this training here. This perfect script will get you more leads and sales than any other affiliate marketer. All right. So that was my hook. So we're saying how this perfect script can get you more leads and sales than any other affiliate marketer. Okay. So obviously I'm speaking to affiliates in this particular case, but it could be digital marketers. Now let's go to the second part of this, of the story of how they learned and earned it. Okay. Now I posted over 1,000 videos that didn't do anything. I didn't make any money to learn this script I'm about to show you right now. All right. So now you'll see that was the story of how I earned and learned it. I talked about like, I've posted all these videos to learn what I'm about to teach you. Okay. So the next part now is I'm going to show them a quick value add of how this works. All right. So you need 4 elements for this script to work. You need a hook, you need a story and why they should watch it, you need to add value, and then you need a call to action or what you want them to do next. All right, so you'll see now what I did is I just went over a quick overview of what we're gonna teach them, okay? And then now I'm just gonna do a simple call to action to get people excited for this training. Let's do that. Now, I invited my inner circle students to my house to teach them this training. If you wanna learn exactly how this works, say, I want leads down below and I'll send you the training. All right, so that's exactly how you execute the script step by step. Now, obviously you want to go and edit it. So I like to use things like CapCut or, something very simple, InstaShot, something to edit the video. And then of course we can throw some visual hooks like a headline. You can throw captions in there. But what you want to do now is just very simple edit. And this is something that you can do. And I'll teach you in another video, but the main script, the main thing is ready. My call to action was getting people to comment, and that's how it works. All right, so if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to say, I made it till the end, and then let me know what your strategy is gonna be for getting more leads, for getting more customers to your products. And then also let me know, are you an affiliate marketer? Are you doing master resale rights? Or do you have your own products and services that you're selling? Now, this is part 5 of my brand new series. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want part number 6, say, I want part number 6, and I'll send it over to you early before I release it. In part number 6, I'm gonna show you how you can use AI to completely blow up your business. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and God bless.